We are the Des Moines branch of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. Our branch has over 160 women and men and is one of the largest branches both nationally and internationally. But tonight, we invited you to join us in our tribute to honor some very special women who have made a difference in many lives. And yet, we also honor not just the few, but also the multitude of women who carry the water, lift the burden, and turn their faces to the future.
It is possible for one person to have a huge impact for good, not only in their lifetime, but in generations into the future. Louise Knight has made a conscious choice to tell that kind of story, and we applaud her for that choice. She tells us about a woman who was simply a citizen, but whose understanding of what being a citizen truly meant was extremely evolved and very different than most of the women of her time, most of the people in our time. Jane Addams didn't just hope for a better world for Americans, she made it the business of her life. But Louise writes, Jane Addams earns our greatest respect as a moral and political philosopher of what it means to be truly human. It's hard to imagine a time in our nation's history where we needed more to contemplate that question.
It's the second annual Strong Feisty Woman Banquet. So I have entitled my talk, Jane Addams, One Kind of Feisty Woman. There are many ways to be a feisty woman in this world, and Jane Addams celebrated that diversity. She had friends across the entire feisty woman spectrum, including the blunt, confrontational, fearless Florence Kelley at one end, and the logical, cool, practical Julia Lathrop at the other. Addams was the gentle, patient, romantic, sort of in the middle.
We are delighted to have Wendy's leadership for our little group. I can't tell you enough what a gift it is for us to have such a calm, thoughtful, she's very laid back, and yet she's always ready, too, when something needs to be done. She's terrific as a public face of Women for Peace Iowa. When we are having an event, she'll be the speaker, she'll do that, and all kinds of other events for other organizations. She's so articulate, she's so passionate, very creative, and just, of course, incredibly committed to the work and to the values. She's also provided steady leadership for the Green Party, both at the Iowa State Green Party and the Lynn County Green Party. I think probably spirited dreaming is why Wendy decided to run for governor on the Green Party ticket. If the three wise men had been three wise women, they would have asked directions and got there on time. Yeah, there's more. They would have swept out the stable and helped deliver the baby. They would have baked a casserole and given age-appropriate gifts, right? So, yeah, women think a little differently than men. Women rule a little differently than men. So in order to have a sense of community values like that, you have to really consider yourself to be part of the community, right? If you're not part of the community, then you don't care about the community. You don't have those community values. And when you don't have those community values, what you end up with is colonization. Colonization is when people from outside a community say, hey, they've got something of value, and we're going to go in and take it away from them and profit for it ourselves off of their goods. That's what colonization is. And that's what we have. Don't think that just because you're white, you cannot be colonized. You have been colonized. We have been colonized here in Iowa. Not allowed to have a sustainable economy and to protect our ecosystem because the colonizing forces feel that they will not make enough money from us if they allowed us to do the right thing. One of the most important things that we can do is to change our laws so that the environment has standing. Standing is, in a court of law, who has a right to bring a suit. Thank you very, very much for this award. It's been a real thrill and an honor. When WILPF tells you that you're strong and feisty, well, there's an organization that really knows strong and feisty, and that really means a lot.
Hi, I'm Sherry Hutchison, and I'm here to introduce Rita. Now, there may be some of you who think you already know everything there is to know about Rita. You're wrong. So I'm going to tell you some things, and some of you already know some of them, and maybe there's somebody here who knows all of them. I don't know.
Well, I want to thank everybody for all the things they're thinking about me that are probably not true. We have no idea what goes on in the rest of this world. But down at the School of the Americas, we are doing the one thing that I think is worse than hiring your own killer, and that's training your hired killer. There are more men from the country of Colombia in the School of the Americas than any other country. More than 50% of them are from Colombia. Colombia has the worst human rights record in this hemisphere. At least 11 dictators in South America that were trained at the SOA. So I urge you again to contact, not by a signature, but just a telephone call, a letter, your representative until you find out how he intends to vote on closing the School of the Americas. And I am not able to get it closed by myself, so I'm asking you to work to do it for me. Thank you.
Be nobody's darling. Be an outcast. Take the contradictions of your life and wrap around you like a shawl to parry stones to keep you warm. Watch the people succumb to madness with ample cheer. Let them look askance at you, and you askance reply. Be an outcast. Be pleased to walk alone uncool. Or line the crowded riverbanks with other impetuous fools. Make a merry gathering on the bank where thousands perished for brave, hurt words they said. But be nobody's darling. Be an outcast, qualified to live among your dead.